I'm having a crack and doing my best. So.
Jared Haynes.
Shrimps on the barbie.
There's a power run by
Haynes.
Jared.
You think they peak in their late 20s?
Start off this Eddie-sode with I got some good news. I've got a new job offer.
Do you?
Yep, down at Hawthorn, designated driver.
Oh, look out.
I'm looking forward to it. It's a full-time role.
Pays better than Uber.
And you're a non-drinker, so you're already one up on the requirements.
That was my requirements. It's also, it is part-time at the minute. I say it's full-time. I was looking full-time if Harley Bennel gets traded in.
I was going to say interstate travel opportunities as well.
Interstate travel opportunities, yeah. It was something I was looking at a few years ago, and then Franklin left, and that sort of left me in the lurch a little bit. So it's good to get another look in. It's important that to follow through with these things. So that was lovely. It was a great start to the week.
Yeah, it was work experience week in the AFL.
Well, yeah, I was going to say it was almost take a rest this week.
Well, you had the interns coming in, and then all the other players seemed to be putting on a show for their new clubs.
Well, I think the real winner was Jared Hayne.
Jared Hayne.
Yeah, nothing else to talk about, so every single newscast is Jared Hayne.
He's done all right, though.
Yeah, I think he's
done fucking spectacular.
I think he might have even got a little bit of a run-in on this gig. Could be an intro, I think.
I had a look at it today, and he got a 2-year with an option of a 3rd-year contract?
I don't even know. I'm not sure.
Knowing those NFL contracts, it's probably 2 years with an option of a 3rd, provided he gets a certain amount of passes. But if he ends up doing something, he'll get kicked out next week, and then if he does something else...
No, it's like 100,000 guarantee, and it's like 500,000 and then 600. He gets paid weekly, but if he gets cut, he gets 100 grand.
Yep.
Off, and it was very convoluted the way it goes, and he can't renegotiate because he's a rookie, and so he has to wait 2 years until he can renegotiate, something like that. But anyway, he's getting paid.
Yeah, exactly.
He was on $600 a week.
Was that what he's making?
Up until now, yeah.
Holy shit! It's almost like Centrelink or something.
Yeah, they said an apprentice plumber gets more.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's not like he's struggling for a quid.
What if he makes any money off his jerseys? Because they've already sold shit tons.
Yeah, it's a bigger selling jersey, I think.
It looks shit ass too. Like ramped up a bit. Actually, I thought it funny. I saw I think it's the fella who does Aussies Abroad. I want to say Brenton Speed, but I don't think it's him.
Oh, Brenton Speed, yeah, him. I don't know.
Anyway,
the Aussie Abroad guy.
Aussie Abroad fella who does that.
Yep.
Anyway, on Twitter, he's like, in capitals, everybody, cool down the Jets. He's just made the team.
Yeah, it's all right to be excited.
Yeah, it is. And I think everyone's a 49ers fan now, aren't they? And
yep.
I know I'm an expert in NFL, like just in these weeks.
Yep.
I'm planning on it. I'm going to buy Madden 2016. So I'll be an expert within about a week.
Yeah, that's how I started to follow the Premier League and know all the players, just by playing FIFA. Yeah.
But
unfortunately, I chose West Brom, so I'm expert at the Championship.
Yeah,
no, we're still in there. We got a win the other week.
Well, I wasn't very good then.
The unfortunate part about that method of learning, though, is that you learn fuck all from the AFL PlayStation game.
Yeah, and you just get sworn a lot by 12-year-old kids.
Oh, no, that's every PlayStation game. But, players that see me playing PlayStation game on Friday night. We had a lot of...
Actually, it was funny that the controversy before the round was all the resting of players.
Yeah.
North rested 9 and Freo were resting 11, and even Hawthorn left a couple out, and there's a couple out elsewhere.
Yep.
It's amazing when injuries started to mount up, and nearly all final sides copped an injury.
Yep.
All of a sudden, no more talking of resting. Everyone says, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, see, I didn't want to put it out there because we're still playing for a final, but I was actually hoping North would win. Because what fucking coaching decision do you make the week after? Oh, shit, hang on. We've just had 22 players that aren't our best team beat the team we're playing now. What do I do?
The possibles have beaten the probables.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd have to have lots of coaching confusion come selection time for North Melbourne. But, yeah, there goes that idea.
Although, if you're any player that got dropped in round 22... Between round 22 and round 23, you just say, yeah, I'm being rested.
Yeah.
So there's a few Carlton players who are like, yeah, I'm just resting this round.
Lindsay Thomas had the same sort of thing. He's like, I'm resting, am I? Like, no, you're injured. Or you're just shit. But
look, it was a pretty crack round of footy, so we'll crack on and go through them pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah,
Friday night, Richmond beat the Kangaroos seconds. There was a good highlight. Magic Door kicked a nice goal.
You did,
through the middle.
It's as good as I've seen a ruckman do, since Goldstein picked the pocket of McKernan against Essendon.
It was good to see that these kind of highlights of Magic Door can happen in the AFL, because we're used to seeing them on a Steadicam from VFL out at Werribee Oval or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, out of the courthouse down on...
Funny thing is that little play, and he had a couple of other decent marks and stuff as well. Probably done enough that he'll get another contract on $10 a day or something. I don't know.
I think it might be a rookie contract, and let's just wait to see what happens at the courthouse.
Yeah.
Might be one of those ones.
But, I'll be honest, when North were looking competitive up until about three-quarter time, I mentally composed a few Reddit posts with some pointed remarks, but I soon got shut up on that one.
40,000 for a game that meant nothing.
In fairness, there were a few free tickets in that one.
I don't know. I think there was Etihad Stadium. I think they filled it all right for two Melbourne-based teams for a game that it lacked any sort of spirit.
Ozbargain.com.au had 2 for 1.
There you go.
Even like the Friday night...
But hey, you got to feel the crowd.
This Friday night set the precedence for what was going to mean anything anyway, didn't it?
No, it was last one. Oh, no, Adelaide could earn a home final.
Yeah.
But when Kangaroos rested so many, Richmond won that. Well, it actually didn't end Adelaide's hope at a home final, but they thought it did.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, because Brisbane got up. So
Yeah, they thought there's no chance of Brisbane getting up over Western Bulldogs, and I thought there was no chance of that either.
Nobody did.
Because it's Brisbane.
Except Brisbane. I think we're done with Friday night already. There's nothing more to really talk about there that happened.
Probably Kane Turner was the only other thing that...
Yeah, he got knocked the fuck out.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, people are saying, he's walking around afterwards and, he could play next week. His game is good enough that he could get a game next week, but that's a 30-day medical suspension in MMA.
Yeah, it's at least a couple of weeks on the sidelines in AFL.
He's 19 years old. Let the fucking kid have a career.
And the other thing was they gave Boomer the vest again. I'm sure that was just reminding him.
Yeah.
But that vest is gone for next year, so that's all right.
Keep him keen.
One game that did have a little bit of interest was Geelong and Adelaide, with Geelong farewelling so many of their fans. Yeah. Farewelling so many of their retiring heroes.
Yeah. So usually you carry your champions off, but they actually had to hire an APC just to get them off the ground there.
There's so many of them.
Yep.
They were running out of men. I thought, geez, they're going to have to do double duty, some of these.
You have the cat mascot down there trying to pick up someone's young fella, stick him on his shoulders.
They had 3 people chaired off. You've got 2 people per chair, so there's 9 people in total. You've only got another...
That's half a side.
Yeah. So to be fair, Stevie J had to be chaired off every match because he was buggered by the end of it.
He kicked 2 goals, 6 or something like that.
Yeah,
and a couple that fell short as well.
I think he might have had a couple that got robbed as well. I think someone chopped one off and bagged their arm for themselves. And also the other funny thing was Paddy Dangerfield taking the mark right at the very end there, getting a huge standing ovation from the crowd. Like huge. He had a shot after the siren, missed it. Bah. Boo!
It would have been funny if he was one of the guys that carried Stevie J off. I would have loved that.
I thought it was pretty cheeky when he attached his removals van to the Crows truck headed down to Geelong.
Did you see some of the Mad Monday photos from Geelong, though?
Well, that was the next thing. Geelong are the absolute kings of Mad Monday when it comes to the dress up.
Haven't they?
Yeah, you had Selwood as Bernard Fanning? Mick Fanning.
No, Mick
Fanning.
Yeah.
Bernard Fanning's from
Powderfinger.
Mick Fanning, and then you had someone as Ellen. And
hang on. No. Holland Smith as Ellen. Which I like that all he did was wear a vest and a suit and a pantsuit and nothing else.
When I was looking at the thumbnail, I thought it really was Ellen.
Well, you know that he's obviously copped that and he's gone, hey, you may as well own it. But he took a fucking armchair with him and everything.
He was pretty close, but the best one was Chris Scott going as Brad
Scott.
Scott. He was spot on.
Yeah, 4th year in a row, though. Fucking lazy. But obviously, communication down at Geelong is not very high. I hear that there's team dissension, being that Cam Guthrie and who was it? I think it was Sam Gilbert also went as Mick Fanning and the Shark. So going as the same, it's just not on.
No, not good at all. I thought it was funny that St Kilda got severely misquoted for their Mad Monday. It was out in the press saying that
they're not having one.
They was going to have a quite high tea. That was going to be the plan.
Right.
Actually misquoted. They actually said they were going to be quite high by tea, and they were.
Well done.
And Bennell's like, right, I'm out. I'm in there. I'm in there. I'm on.
Yeah. They turned it on. Actually, I don't think that Adelaide were playing this light either. I mean, they didn't want to get injured, but it's not like they didn't have scoreboards at the ground that they knew that Brisbane were in with a chance.
Yeah.
So if they could have turned it on if they wanted to, but Geelong were all over them.
I mean, you're playing for Paddy Dangerfield too, so I'm sure your team goes, yeah, we'll give a little bit extra effort for this one.
Yeah. The other interesting thing with the Crows is they're still they've only just started their search for a coach for next year.
Okay.
So you got Camperale, he's sitting in the chair at the minute. If he wins a final, so they're playing the Bulldogs.
Yep.
And then they've got the loser of West Coast and Hawthorn after that. If they win one final, you almost think, oh, he's got his foot in the door. If they win two finals and make a prelim, he's got the job. You can't sack him.
Definitely.
And I mean, the other question is, if not him, then who? Worsfold should go to Essendon, and Essendon should be fucking grateful for it.
His name's been thrown around for Essendon, and it's a great pickup for anyone if Worsfold wants to coach. Somebody has put their hand up for the Adelaide role, and that was Bomber Thompson.
Really?
He said, I'd be willing to talk to them.
See, I'd find it interesting because he does still have a bit of taint about him with the whole supplement thing. And,
Taint.
Yeah, the old taint. But,
Got him right in the taint.
It's a smelly taint.
but, you know, he is a quality coach.
So you're saying he's not an arsehole?
No, he's a gooch.
Yeah, but he still coached Essendon last year and did very well with a squad that was still under all that duress.
Well, so much so that they wanted to put him in the top seat, and they told him so.
Well, they fucked that up.
And I bloody love him seeing his interviews as a coach, so I want to see him back in that head role.
He's better.
It's not at Essendon.
He's better as a coach than he is as a commentator.
Absolutely.
His special comments, they sound special.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
I thought it was a bit rough, though, Geelong players, after the match, they're going up, shaking hands and everything, and checking Paddy Dangerfield's references he put on his resume. Fucking rough.
Yeah, he had Geelong's coach.
It was the scenes after the game with the Geelong players singing the song, and you can see Stevie J couldn't get the words out.
Yeah.
And you're like, I felt sorry for him for a moment. I mean, the moment passed, don't get me wrong. But you could see it that, you know, he's done everything he could for Geelong. Actually, no. He's done everything he could for himself, and that helped Geelong as a byproduct of that. But it's still, you can see that obviously he's being given the arse when he wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
And he's said today, I think, that he's going to wait another 48 hours before he decides if he's going to play on next year at somewhere.
Yep.
So we'll wait to see. He'll get picked up if he wants to go.
I honestly hope he doesn't. I think his highlight reel is closed. He won't add to his highlight reel from here on. He'll be a contributor, but he won't be Stevie J. He'll just be, you know, the bloke who comes on and does a few good things and goes off.
Look at his compatriots, though. I mean, Chapman had 2 years at Essendon. This year, he did nothing. He was injured. Last year, he was good.
Yeah.
He was really handy for Essendon.
Yeah. He was handy. He wasn't...
He's never going to be...
He wasn't Chapman.
No. And Josh Hunt, he was more than handy, I think, when he went to GWS, and he was cooked.
Yeah.
But he was exactly what GWS needed in a big-bodied person down back, you know, with all their kids.
Actually, GWS just picked up Lenny Hayes as a coach,
I saw that
coach
too.
as well.
Yeah.
So strengthening their credentials down there. So.
Don't worry about it. There would have been 18 clubs that were happy to have him
exactly.
in their front office.
And you got Cooney, went to Essendon, and I don't think he's been worth it.
That's a little bit different, Cooney, though.
Well, his knees are cactus, and they have been for the last 6 years.
I think the Bulldogs were half wanting to keep him, but free agency let him go.
Yeah.
I can't wanted to keep him if they were keeping him.
But he's not as old as Johnson or Chapman or any of the others. But anyway, Brisbane versus the Bulldogs, actually quite an entertaining game. Look, 19 goals each. You don't see that very often.
Entertaining from the moment they actually went onto the ground.
Well, even before that, poor old Badger, old Stakers,
Poor motherfucker.
gets a farewell game.
Yep.
Doesn't make it through the warm-up.
Yep.
Did notice one thing, though.
What's that?
Kept his kit on.
Bloody oath.
Stayed there for the song afterwards.
Well,
May as well.
He's
Yeah,
been one of the
exactly.
unluckiest bastards to have made AFL football, I reckon. Sort of like that. If he fell in a barrel full of tits, he'd get accused of being the Snowtown murderer or some bullshit. But Martin had a fantastic game for my money,
Stefan.
and he's flown under the radar a fair bit.
There's been big raps about him this year because there are rumours that he's looking to come back to Melbourne.
Yep.
If
As
he
in
does,
the city, not the team.
every team will want him because how Brisbane haven't been able to make the most of him as a ruckman is beyond me with their midfield.
Well, they've had him until probably, I don't know, a third of the way through this year. They had him behind Leuenberger.
Yeah, that's
And I've said it before, I've never understood the hype behind Leuenberger. Martin is a monster.
Yeah.
I think he's set some, he's got the bench pressing record and all that kind of shit down
Jesus.
at Brisbane this year and all that kind of stuff. Looks like they're going to lose Leuenberger. They're the rumours. And obviously Adcock and Redden and all the others. I don't understand why they're just trying to give people away when they can't hang on to anybody.
Yeah.
So, Stefan Martin is really been one of their shining lights this year, along with Zorko and Rockcliffe, I thought.
Yeah. But again, Zorko and Rockcliffe have sort of faded in and out. They seem to get tagged out too easy.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been a lot of games they've had a lot of the ball. Yeah,
but
this game wasn't really a fair indication because it was, a little bit. There was not much defense going on. It was an all-star game.
Yeah,
almost like East versus West.
And we're going to mention some beautiful bounce-through goals as well. So they were playing very much around the ball sort of defence. Western Bulldogs, making every man accountable.
Not much zoning off.
No, which is entertaining
good
footy. But it was the old, we'll let you score goals, we'll try and score more. And it makes for a great entertainment.
And we've got to mention the Bulldogs banner as well. It's coming out. I'm sure everyone saw it, comparing the Lions logo to the dude from Nickelback.
It's, I mean, ever since they got the comedian whose name escapes me right now to write their banners, I think he's been there 3 or 4 years.
They've been gold.
Yeah, he's been absolutely killing it.
I'm surprised there's not a Tumblr or something.
Oh, I'm sure, he's got his own.
We'll get on that.
No. Port hosting Freo. The game happened. Freo sent their seconds team over. Actually got out to a lead in the first quarter, and then Freo went, "What the fuck are we doing?"
Yeah.
And Port came home with it. Do we need to go any further than that?
Well,
kick some nice goals.
It is a bit cheeky when they're running around with tea and cake instead of the Gatorade, but they turned up in a manner that they approved with the AFL, and the supporters didn't. So. Yeah.
Oh, there's still 30-odd thousand there. What was it? 38,000. That's still not a bad size crowd. I don't think you can have a go at them for that.
And I mean, on resting players, they quoted Fyfe as saying that he's feeling $1 million after arrest, which sort of makes sense. But he's actually talking about his next contract.
Yeah, feeling like $1 million bucks. Yeah. Want to be a little bit over that, I'd suggest. Now, did you see the massive cheers for when John Butcher kicked a goal?
No, he is the one that. Every team's got the whipping boy. Butcher is Port's because he is shit.
Do you remember years ago, the Detroit Pistons, when they had their championship run?
Yep.
They had Darko Milicic?
Probably.
And the coach called him the human victory cigar.
Did he?
Because you only put him in once you've already won. I'm pretty sure his name was Darko Milicic.
Yeah, there was something like Darko Milicic or something
like that. Yeah. I've got a feeling that John Butcher only got a game once the season was finished.
Yep.
They're like, let's just see what can happen. And, if he doesn't come good, at least we can have a laugh.
Yeah, I saw someone on Facebook post that he's definitely the most entertaining player.
Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't go for Port.
Yeah. There was some of them, I saw him lining up. If you've got that much of a problem, you see Travis Cloak and the others that have had an issue with goal kicking, they're like, all right, I'm going to put my hand here, I'm going to put there, I'm going to take 3 steps, I'm going to kick it, I'm going to do everything. And they got this process. He went back and went, well, let's see where this goes. Yeah. Oh, that's fucked.
It's the equivalent of the 8-ball pub table break. Yeah. Where you just wind this motherfucker up, bang!
The 6-pocket rocket. That's what he's going for.
Yeah, it's 3 pints deep.
Yeah, and all the other players around the table are ready to slips catch it.
When he finally did kick one, I was surprised the crowd didn't storm the ground like it was his 100th. But anyway, that game happened. Yeah. Hawthorn Carlton happened. Jesus, was boring. Oh, it was hard to watch. So I
didn't.
I didn't watch most of it. Although one thing I did see was Jordan Lewis got reported for a trip. Yeah. I'm like, I don't remember seeing that in the game.
Yeah, neither do I.
Because it was behind play, and they showed footage of it that I saw today.
Yep.
It was an absolute schoolyard trip. Like
literally behind play.
They're both running towards the ball, good 40, 50 metres away, like jogging, not even running sprint. Yeah. And it's just gone,
stuck the foot out.
A quick ankle tap.
Gone out, stuck the foot out sideways and got him.
That's a veteran move, that.
I got a question. Are you allowed to throw someone, like do a hip throw? Is there anything against that?
As a tackle, you could.
Sling tackling has been an
just
issue,
like the same situation, off the ball, run along, just, hip
it's tackling without the ball.
So what, you have a free kick, or is it reportable? Do you have to face the tribunal?
It could be both. They could call it misconduct.
Okay.
Because, like sling tackling, They've called that. And that's throwing
Yeah.
somebody to the ground.
Yeah.
So if you're doing Uchikomi or...
I was just trying to find a little loophole, get a bit more excitement and back of play, and that way you might be able to get the cameras to actually follow what's going on. You follow the games then.
Yeah, you could probably go for, I don't know. What are those...
Well, if you had a good lawyer, not like Essendon,
for flying head scissors or something.
Well, I was thinking, what if it was one of the drink runners just threw you a chair, and you went whack and then threw it back?
As long as the ref doesn't see it, it's fine.
The ref doesn't see it.
You need the other runner to go and distract the ref. Just like, "Oi, ref, I've lost my shoe. What's that?" And
Been a
then
while.
bang!
It's been a while since we had a Mazzagatti joke.
Oh, he'd be a great ref. Suns versus the Swans. I saw the first 10 minutes of this, and I think I said, "Oh no, this could turn out to be 100 points."
Yep.
But at least they came back a little bit. It was a real shame. Kieran Jack's done his knee.
Yeah.
Looks
that was
like it's going to be a month.
Yep. Poor bastard.
Yeah, just the wrong time of the year to get silly little injuries. And friendly fire, I think it was too.
Yeah.
Just nothing.
Yeah, not much.
Nothing in
I
it.
think it was just rotating sideways as opposed to
Yeah.
like a hyperextension forward or backwards. You've probably been right.
I think they said today it's going to be 3 to 4.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So
if they make the grand final, he may be right. In
Yep.
which case, do you put him back in?
No, not with a knee. You can't.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah, no way.
You'd love to, because his potential when he's fit is so good, but you cannot put a running player in a grand final with a dodgy knee, because the fact of the matter is the opposition team's going to go straight for him.
Hawthorn tried it in 2012 with Luke Hodge, and obviously didn't fire a shot that day, and they lost.
Yep.
And tried it last year with Cyril Rioli, who did his job.
Yeah.
But the team flogged him, so it didn't really matter.
Also, two completely different jobs.
Yeah. And one was a hammy, and I think Hodge was knee soreness as well.
Yeah.
But look, it's a tough choice, to put your captain back in.
Yeah. I did find it funny that Gold Coast, obviously, everyone saw the news that they're splitting up with Bennel, sending him on his way.
They're going to find a trade for Bennel.
Yeah, but in the next sentence, they said, we're committed to looking after, to helping him. They're committed to helping him. Just after they said they've terminated his contract and are trading him.
Yeah, help him out the fucking door.
Yeah, I think that's not quite the two mutually exclusive things there.
I think what they meant was if he needs rehab or counselling,
If he needs a taxi,
we're still footing the bill.
we'll send you off to the airport. That's all where you're going.
Got some removalists.
Yeah.
I don't think many teams would be too fussed. Like, if he's on the open market, there'll be teams wanting him.
Took Benny Cuz. We'll fucking have him.
At least Benny Cuz was smart enough not to get caught.
We've still got all the contacts to first step down in St Kilda. We've got.
Hey, I tell you what, did Benny Cuz a world of good too, didn't it? He's fine now.
It was a great team man. He took Dusty Martin on his flap, got him tattooed up, mixed him up with the bike. He's all set.
Somehow I don't think Dusty Martin
Playing
needed the help.
$1 million. This is true. In fact, I think Dusty might have showed Benny Cuz a few things or two.
Yeah, the Richmond Banditos are having a great fucking season.
Speaking of Dusty, they actually announced that Andrew McLeod's going to give him his medal on grand final day.
It was funny. I did see a few Crow supporters today always say, "Oh, imagine if the Crows make it," and then imagine if Eddie Bet they're like, "Hey, settle, win one game, then you can talk about the next couple."
It's going to be two Crows in the field. One's going to be running at half time. The other one's going to be giving out the Norm Smith.
West Coast Eagles versus Saints was even more boring than the previous one.
Yep.
So we'll leave that.
Well, I think we wrapped it up last week where we said Saints put the queue in the rack for the season.
Absolutely.
That was it.
And Kennedy got to, get his Coleman.
He got his Coleman medal, and he earned it. I think he just about led this one all the way.
Yeah, he did pretty much.
Probably,
and the funny thing is, a lot of people aren't putting him in as a lock for All-Australian.
Really? That's just silly.
It is. Like, if you get the Coleman, you're the All-Australian full forward, surely.
I'm sure it has happened before. But
Well, it happened to Revolt. Jack Revolt got the Coleman and didn't get All-Australian.
yeah, I think he did, yeah. I'm sure it's happened before.
Actually, I
but
think Prittis got the Brownlow and was struggling to get All-Australian.
he didn't get All-Australian.
Yeah.
It was the first time since...
He was in the group, but not in the final 22.
Yeah, because the All-Australian's named, I think, the week before the Brownlow.
Yeah, well, they got it wrong.
It is funny, though. I mean, so West Coast have got the Coleman. They got a great chance to get the Brownlow with Prittis or Gaff. And
Yeah,
I think,
this is true.
I think Gaff might actually outvote Prittis. And then they're finished number 2. They got a great ride through to the grand final.
And they could get the Golden Fist.
Nick Natanui has got Mark of the Year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
shit, yeah.
So there might be a lot of silverware going out there this year.
Yeah, true.
Melbourne GWS was more entertaining than it deserved to be.
Yep.
I guess that's what you can say for the fuck all people that turned up to watch it.
Yeah, and
8,000.
Even preempting it was going to be a crap match, so I made a bit of a mistake and tried to convince everyone to watch the UFC instead.
Oh, jeez, that was even more boring.
Yeah, I know. So sorry about that, guys.
I on the UFC too, the worst gate in 11 years.
And they gave out a lot of tickets.
A lot of free tickets.
A lot of tickets. Also, Alex Chambers, Australian chick, got done.
Yeah.
But I thought it funny, the post-fight presser,
gonna.
where Paige Van Zandt came out in the post-fight interview. She's like, yeah, I should have just gone down on her earlier. The whole crowd was like, yes, you should have.
All of a sudden, the doors open, people flooding in.
Did she check herself? Or?
I don't think so.
She just wrecked
No,
herself.
just went right through
I
it.
think a lot of shit flies over her head.
Yeah. And match of the round.
Yeah.
Collingwood Essendon. Entertaining enough. It was a little bit Benny Hill at times, but
Oh, fuck.
look, a lot of handballs that went around in circles and underneath and over. The unlikely hero and Heath Hocking kicked some nice goals, actually.
Did.
And the winner, of course, as well. So it's something for him to build on.
I did love Buckley's quote saying that, now that the season's over, they're recruiting to improve their team. So, fucking good idea, champion.
Coincidentally enough, so Essendon.
Yeah, I think most teams are recruiting to improve.
Starting with the coach and then full forward.
Well, this year I think we're recruiting to stay mediocre. Yeah. That's going to be our strategy. To build it up. It's very interesting that Cloak's name's been thrown up as possibility to get moved around. I can't see them doing it.
I think it's just a negotiation tactic because he is on so much money.
He is on a massive amount of money.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's going to pick him up and pay his bill, unless Collingwood want to chip in and grab some. I think they just got to move him down back.
Well, Vizzy got a free sponsorship deal on their roster. Just send him down the card.
No, I think, to be honest, I think Juddy is actually an executive at Vizzy nowadays. I got a feeling he is.
I'm sure he does his part.
No, I think
There's another jigsaw he'll appear on.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why Vizzy don't go to North Melbourne.
Ginny
North Melbourne recycling players left, right and centre.
Because he's good. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So anyway, that was round 23, which nobody cared about. So we can move on.
Oh, one other little thing. Goldstein managed to get the Age Player of the Year award.
Yeah, he did too.
And no one knows what the fuck he won.
I know,
I know what he won.
They were saying
He wins a car that he can donate to a charity of his choice.
Well, that's what Pendlebury won last year, but North Melbourne released a statement saying they called up the Age and said, all right, what's he win? And they're like, well, we don't know.
Well, I think at the very least should be able to put like a big gold star next to his name.
They tried that once. It didn't turn out so well.
They do with the World Cup winners.
Yeah, they tried that in the 40s, and his people tended not to do so well.
Wow, I think time will be the judge of that.
But, the funny thing, he still drives his mum's Toyota, a 2004 model.
I hope his mum's a tall lady.
Rather.
I hope his mum's got another car or something. Get fucking arse taking a Toyota and just pissing off the trainer when you're on 500k a
I
year.
just thought, because it's a Hyundai that they can donate to a charity of their choice.
Oh, fuck it.
How quickly do you reckon Boomer Harvey ran down to register a charity?
Do you think he hasn't already thought of this?
He's got one on the side. It's the 400 gamers under 6 foot who aren't named Kevin Club.
You know how many little side businesses and charities Boomer has? He sells those little energy shots and shit to fucking cricketers.
He's got the Salvation's Army. Doesn't rattle a tin down Arden Street though. He keeps getting robbed.
Yep. We may as well do a little preview of the finals because we're not talking about round 23. It's done and dusted. Although it is funny that all the teams that are now been eliminated immediately go into talks on trades and what's doing. And here's next year, and you go, there's still some games.
Yeah,
still some going on,
and they're probably all the players that you want to pick up.
Yeah,
so
the good ones.
Yeah, see how they go.
We've got West Coast will be hosting Hawthorn on Friday night over at Subiaco. It's a late start this game as well, which I think is just to make it a little bit more palatable for the locals.
Yep.
Last time they met was 6 weeks ago. Hawthorn got over the line. There was no Natanui. The other ruckman, who's I've gone blank, Sinclair went down as well. And I think Hawthorn went without Lake and lost Frawley during the game, and it was wet and shit. So I don't think you can really take all that much out of that game.
Nah. What was the end result with Lewis? Is he playing?
You got a fine.
Fine, cool.
Lucky. You got a fine.
Yeah.
deserved a week for stupidity.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting. Look, it's hard to tip against West Coast at home.
Yeah.
Especially the way they've been playing the last couple.
They're flying.
Yeah.
They're on fire. All the bookmakers got Hawthorn as flag favourites, pretty much, but I do think they're going to struggle with it with the West Coast over there.
Hawthorn and the bookmakers have a very weird relationship because I think because they've been so successful the last couple of years, the bookies have lost a lot of money on Hawks, and so there's a lot of cashed up Hawks punters. So Hawks odds are always way under. So you've almost got to, just take that into account and add it up. Because West Coast clearly should be favourites for this game.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the Melbourne Cup where you can't really look at the odds because a lot of people have got no fucking idea what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit like that.
Most people don't know shit about football.
West Coast looking, if they win this, they get the week off and don't need to leave home.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting. Which do you think, like a Derby grand final, is obviously going to be massive.
Yeah.
But a Derby prelim final, it's almost like because it's do or die, and there's the carrot out there, and it'll be in Perth.
Yeah.
They could tear the place apart.
And then also because you get the following week of will the losing team go for the Western Australian side as well, or
fuck no,
That's
I
what
don't think they will. That's what it should be.
Doing shit right over there in Western Australia.
They'll be fighting each other.
So there, you got that story as well. Was a side note to the following week. So yeah.
Then the other qualifying final, Freo hosting Sydney on Saturday night. Interesting enough, it was Freo's choice because they finished minor premiers. They had the choice of Friday or Saturday, or Sunday, but nobody's going to pick Sunday. Yeah. And they chose the Saturday night. I'm not 100% sure why, but that's what they chose.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you'd really have to take into account, except for what day you played the week before, or what your list is looking like.
Well, I mean, everyone played on Saturday. I guess they just wanted that extra day.
Yeah, true.
And they're hoping they'll get a week off.
Of course, they obviously playing for a week off. I think that they'll be too good for Sydney as well. Their depth across the ground. One of the main weaknesses in Sydney is their ruck stocks. They got Pike, who has improved, and Tippett, who's had a good month, but on the other side, you got Sandilands. And Freo have just been coasting, doing enough all the way through.
Coming in fresh as well and injuries. Yeah. I mean, a smart man wouldn't tip against them, but anything can happen.
But Sydney have had an easy run in to the last few rounds of the season.
Yeah.
But they've hit their best form.
Yeah.
I just think on most lines, Freo have got the better player. Like midfield, Sydney got a fantastic midfield. Freo is better.
Yeah.
Back line, again, I put it up to Freo. Forward line, you'd have to say, Sydney's has got the better full forward line, but
they got Franklin, but
Tippett's been doing great in the forward line.
Yeah, Tippett's been better than Franklin lately because his back's not right.
Yeah.
He hasn't looked right, and I don't think he kicked a goal last week either.
No.
He might have kicked one or two. Anyway, I think that the injuries might have just been too much for the Swans. And having said that, I mean, if there's anybody the Swans would want to play, it's Freo because they have a similar game style.
Yep.
It's the best matchup I think they could ask for. They'd be better off against Freo than they would be Hawthorn or West Coast.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Sydney had that confidence to dictate their own game plan, like we were saying last week. Doesn't matter how their team's playing, they can still stick to what they've got to do.
They've got a lot of good structures and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. The only thing I can see stopping Freo is them getting nervous because they know anything less than a flag is under par. So they can't afford to mess up.
Exactly.
Especially Ross Lyon.
And obviously, their one trip to the big dance, they had a little bit of a poor showing and did themselves out of a chance. So that'll be in the back of their mind, and that can either give you the yips or drive you.
Yep. At home, I reckon they're going to be far too strong. But their first trip to Melbourne is going to be very telling. Which could be the final.
The first trip to Melbourne will be from Adelaide, and they're playing the Western Bulldogs at the MCG.
It looks to rain this weekend.
Is it really?
Yeah, which I think will play massively into the Dogs' favour because they have a fantastic running game.
Yeah.
Their midfield is just going to be able to spread, and if they can keep every Crow accountable, make sure delivery is under pressure, I think they'll kill them.
Well, they've got. Is it Roughhead will probably play on Walker I think.
Oh, okay. Yep.
It'd be an interesting matchup, but Italia is going to go to probably Stringer.
Yep.
But then you've got Cramery and down forward. I think they've got a lot of forward power that you don't really realise.
Even Honeychurch has bobbed up lately.
Yeah, he's kicking a couple. And Caleb Daniels kicking a couple.
And I think the Dogs can afford to put a tagger on Dangerfield, and they can have 2 other people or 3 other people cover sort of up for that player down, because they've got that much of a spread of talent. You've got Bontempelli, like you said, you've got Stringer, you've got Wallace, you've got all those players who can do that role, and have shown they can do it. So, yeah, I think Bulldogs are holding all the cards, but you can't count Adelaide out. They've been resilient this season, so...
Yeah, they've had everything thrown at them. We don't need to go further on that. But they've still got Scotty Thompson in the middle, who's playing that general role very well, and letting the guys like Crouch and Dangerfield run off him, that kind of stuff.
I think they seriously have to consider what they do with Eddie Betts as well, because he's someone who can take this game and run away with it. Because Bulldogs play a very free-running game, but you've got to be accountable as well. And Eddie Betts will kill you,
especially on the rebound. If he's one-on-one with anybody and the ball hits the deck, geez, it's hard.
Especially running towards goals, where when you get that quick turnover and he's running towards goals, it's very hard
to stop on a dime.
Yeah.
Kick some rippers this year.
I don't think the wet weather might actually hurt him in that one, because he's going to lose a little bit of speed and be slip and slidey.
He's a freak. I think the wet weather does not bother Eddie Betts one little bit.
Yeah, I think he's very light on his feet. Wet weather, he probably aquaplanes anyway, so it doesn't matter.
He's just got to bounce straight up. And then the replay from last week,
match the round.
Richmond versus North at the MCG, should be a massive crowd.
Should be a massive game too.
40,000 at Etihad last week. They should be looking to double that this week, and I reckon they'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, Dimmer said during the post-match press conference that the Tigers are over the ghosts of the finals past, which is pretty good. We only just got over our ghost of shit coaches from the past, so it's good to see we're clearing out a closet of skeletons.
I mean, it is something for Hardwick. This will be their 3rd final in a row.
Yep.
And their second time they get to host a final out of that as well.
Yeah.
Last time they lost to 9th, so this time 8th.
Yep.
Let's see how they go then.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got pumped by Port, who I think we played a couple of weeks before that and beat them.
Yep.
So it looks like the similar situation here as well.
Well, it won't be a pumping. It'll be a tight match, I'd say, no matter who wins. But barring last week, North have had the wood on Richmond for quite a while.
They have, and I think the rain, if it rains like you said, I think they might actually play into North's favour just to slow down the Tigers a bit.
I was just trying to think, when was the last time North played in the rain, though? Because obviously Richmond played against Essendon a couple of weeks ago and got the job done, but it was Essendon.
Well, all we have to do is Google "shut the fucking roof."
Yep.
And we probably know last time they played in the rain.
Well, and the Tasmanian game against West Coast, where the wind was blowing everything left, right, and centre.
It's true, yeah. So I think the wind blew Tasmania an extra few feet away from us. Mainland.
The stadium rotated 90 degrees. But look, it'll just be a matter of which midfield can make the most of the ball usage.
I think Del Santo comes back in. If the matchup of him and Delidio will decide this game. Whoever gets which one of those two, they won't go near each other.
Yep.
For the entire game, but whichever one of those two can dominate, is going to their team's going to win.
You'd have to think they put Jacobs on Cochin too, which could be an interesting matchup. See how that one goes.
I think Higgins will be an important player as well for the Kangaroos coming to this game. I think they need that direction to sort of make sure you maintain your form, and they're going to be really accountable for a lot of the Tigers players, especially across the midfield. We've got like Vlosten and Ellis, who have been playing really well, running through sort of centre-half back through to centre-half forward.
He runs forward very well, Higgins, and he kicked. He's the type of bloke there where when you're mucking around, you need someone to just take charge and go for goal. You can rely on him. But running the other way would be very interesting.
Well, to me, he plays a similar sort of game to Hooley. They played in different styles, but they're rebounding off half-back. They both like their long runs, and they both like to find a target in the corridor. Hooley's probably a bit quicker, but I'd say Higgins can find the target a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he plays much more forward than Hooley and kicks a lot more goals. And that's why North got him, to kick those goals. Be interesting, Jared Waite, returning back to the finals after a few years with Carlton.
Yeah.
He's been Jared Waite this year.
Yep.
Hot and cold.
Expecting more of the same going into the finals. He'll be true to form.
If he gets a shot on goal in the first quarter, it'll tell you everything about his day.
Yep.
Yep.
So Any guesses on who's going to win this one? You both following your own sides? You back it in?
No, I haven't backed Richmond any time all year, so going great. Just business as usual.
Business as usual.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
For 90% of Tiger
Don't
supporters.
Fix it, yep.
No, I'll go for North by 8 points. But with that, Hardwick's done a fantastic job, but not winning a final in 3 appearances, do you think that puts him under any pressure?
I don't think it puts him under pressure because they've been so good this year and they've got a lot of wins. Yeah, certainly, regardless of what happens, he's coaching next year. There's no doubt there. But he definitely want to win one, especially Newman, who's now played 200 odd games before he got to play a final.
Yeah,
he's only played 2 finals, and they've both been losses. You almost want just win a final, just give him one.
Give him one before he goes out,
before he legs it.
And the funny thing is too that whichever team loses, those supporters probably jump on the bandwagon of the other team for the following week.
Probably go close, yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, probably go close. I mean, it's always hard to pick another team for the finals once your team goes out. You know what I mean? If team is in the final to begin with, which, I've been good at this situation, and so usually you can pick your second or third favourite team and follow them through, but you're always still heartbroken for the rest of the finals. You just want to be a miserable cunt to everyone.
Well, it is funny because there are teams that are like, well, at least we made the finals.
Yeah.
And the one's like, fuck, we missed out here.
Yeah, but the first time that we made the finals, we played Carlton, who weren't supposed to make the finals, and we lost. So fuck that shit, man.
That hurt.
I couldn't pick a second favourite team with that one.
But what I don't get is when people, when their teams get knocked out and they lose interest, I'm like, there's still other finals. I still want to see who wins.
They're
still exciting.
Better teams than yours to play.
Yeah. There's no wasted games anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's like exponentially gets better and better.
It does.
As it gets
just
into the
keeps getting
finals.
better. The stakes keep getting higher.
Speaking of the finals, they've announced the halftime show. I was listening to the radio and they had the sound clip of Gillan McLachlan announcing it. He was saying that there's going to be something for everyone in this grand final show.
Meatloaf.
He's asked his 2 daughters, who are 7 and 4 or something like that, what they want.
Right.
And they've chosen Elle Goulding or whoever that is. And he's chosen Bryan Adams.
Okay.
So there's something for 7-year-old girls and men 40 years and over.
Who are a little bit past it, even for their age.
So there's something for everyone except your entire demographic.
Yeah.
Who was the third dude?
Oh, it was Chris Isaac, but I hope he's doing a stand-up show or something.
I was going to say, he's funnier than he is a good singer.
Yeah, so if he does some stand-up shows while he's here in Australia, go watch them because they're pretty good.
He's hilarious. He had a show on the Comedy Channel for a while.
Yeah, that was pretty good, actually. And speaking of stand-up, it's going to be a strong sort of couple of months for stand-up. You've got Ari Shafir's out here. You've got
in October,
Duncan Trussell's out with Joe Rogan. And you're going to have Chris Isaac out if he does podcast. And fuck, I hope that Coco Diaz comes out for Joe Rogan, does some side ones.
Don't think he can.
Oh, probably not allowed to.
He's got a felony.
Yeah, true.
I don't think he's... he won't be leaving the country anytime soon.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, they're patching things up with Cuba now, so he might go back there.
I don't think Australia let Snoop Dogg into the country.
Yeah. We didn't let Johnny Depp's fucking dogs in the country, so...
Yeah. I thought that was the UK.
Maybe we don't like dogs. Snoop Dogg, Johnny's dogs.
Maybe so.
But they're doggist.
Yeah.
I did want to have a quick chat about one thing. All Australian.
Yes.
Who's your shoe-ins?
I think Rance is a shoe-in.
Yeah, I agree.
Halfback, and Easton Wood is a shoe-in on the halfback.
Yep.
Across the middle, you got Fyfe and Goldstein, Gaff.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll leave them as a shoe-ins. And
I'd put Sandilands on the bench.
Most likely.
You can put Nick Nat in there as well.
Maybe.
Oh, but I suppose it's just pure out-and-out ruck position, isn't it? So
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's plenty of others that could go in the middle, but it's the middle. It's always...
plenty of names in that hat.
Yeah, you're going to throw up Dangerfield.
And in the forwards, Josh Kennedy, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Betts, Wingard. I think they're both named themselves.
Yep.
I'm struggling after that.
Teams.
I'd have Jeremy Cameron in there.
Yeah.
Real easy. Jake Stringer's got to be close. He might get a spot on the bench.
That's the thing, is that that's where it starts getting hard picking those positions.
Yeah.
Because you're like, he certainly deserves it. But then you go back and you look at some of the other players, like, oh, hang on a second, I forgot about old mate.
Yeah.
Especially with the backs. Like, because being a North supporter, I mean, I think, Tarrant had a good season.
He had a
but then
good
you're
season.
Like, then you got Talia, Wood, like you're saying before.
Yeah.
Like
Rance.
Rance he
Hurley.
has to get it. Hurley, he's also
Hurley,
someone worth
Quell.
mentioning about it.
Bagley, maybe. Bagley's a maybe. Hurley's closer.
Yeah, I thought Maston did good for the time before he got injured and had that little munch on someone.
Yeah.
I think Hurley did well considering the ball was down there so fucking much.
Well, it's easy to kick when it's down there.
Yeah, plenty of help.
It is interesting. I did a little stats discovery during the week. Hawthorn finished the year with the best points for and the best points against. So number one offense, number one defense.
The best percentage.
No, best for and best against and best percentage. So that's 3 different categories I'm counting.
What's the same category?
No, it's not. They got the most points for, which last year they got.
Points.
Well, if you get those 2, you have to get best percentage.
Yeah, exactly right. But you can get best percentage without getting those 2. See how it works?
Well, yeah, they don't score any and you score.
I think this could be the first fact we've ever had on our show.
Anyway, because last year Hawthorn also had best points for and best percentage, but they didn't have the best against. Anyways, very interesting that they have the best defence. I can't really see any of their defenders getting the All-Australian side.
Yeah, well, the best form
Gibson,
of defence is
maybe?
attack.
Have the best... Gibson, maybe. Have the best offence. I can't see any of them getting in the offence either.
Yeah,
It's just the way it goes.
yeah, true.
So you say or maybe it's their midfield's dominant. Who in their midfield goes in the All-Australian side? Maybe Sam Mitchell.
What do they call it? The crap gap or something? Where maybe they had lots of blowouts. Or a couple of big blowouts. The rest of them kind of close. You know what I mean?
All their losses were close. I think the biggest loss was 19 points or something like that.
And the wins were blowouts.
They had a lot of blowouts.
Yeah.
Well, they had 130 against Carlton.
Yeah.
So it's just weird the way that it works that way.
Was the Port game their biggest loss?
Could have been. I think that was about 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was either Port or Richmond, one of those 2. But yeah, I always thought it's funny because when you talk about All-Australian, I think it is a little bit disappointing with the All-Australian side now that the All-Australian coach is the premiership coach no matter what.
Okay.
Kind of like, it's funny, like it makes sense.
Yeah.
But then why isn't the Brownlow medalist the captain?
Yeah,
or why
that's
isn't the Coleman medalist, why isn't he full forward or centre half forward?
Yeah.
It's just that one's automatic. Because if it wasn't automatic, Luke Beveridge is a shoo-in.
I'd say so, yeah.
True. And I mean, you just like to be able to give something to Ross Lyon before he's done.
Yeah, he's never got that All-Australian nod, has he?
I mean, he doesn't deserve a gold star, so.
I don't want to see him get anything.
All right, fuck him.
He can go in the Jesse Hogan pile.
So we'll keep going.
I'm still dirty on that.
I would be too.
We keep going on awards then. We got the Rising Star, which is announced in 2 days' time.
Yeah.
2-horse race, really. Hogan and Cripps.
Yep.
I think
Cripps, fuck Hogan.
I think Cripps anyway.
Yeah, I'll go Cripps. I'll be a team player.
He'll come on our podcast.
I think the other vote getters, I like Took Miller and Ahmed. Is it Ahmed Saad? Oh, I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Which one plays the Saints and which one plays the Gold Coast?
Yeah.
I'm for the Gold Coast.
You sure? Okay, I'll take your word for it. No, you got no fucking idea.
Yeah, no, I reckon he's from States.
Could check that
Yeah,
out. I think them and I don't know who the 5th one could be.
No. I mean, because I haven't really considered it because you just think it's, like I said, 2-horse race.
Yeah, I really think it is a 2-horse race. I mean, McIntosh had an all right year, or McIntosh, whatever his name is, for Richmond.
He had a good half.
You want Connor, the Irish lad from Essendon, to be able to give another speech somewhere within this season.
It's a shame he only played 2 games, but we can figure out a way.
In fact, we get him on the podcast.
Fucking
We'll
oath.
get. Actually, we should get him blind drunk and see if it makes more sense.
No, I think we need to get blind drunk so we can make sense of him.
I think the only problem is, on a podcast, it's hard to have subtitles.
It would be funny just to translate what he says and just make it up.
like the Nelson Mandela funeral, the guy that did the
the sign language.
yeah, and he's just fucking I don't know whatever. He's trying to translate and he's just gesturing. They don't mean shit. He's bluffed his way in, going, "Oh, I know sign language totally. Yeah.
He wasn't the translator. He was just Italian.
Blackest Italian dude I've ever seen.
Look at it. Where is he? Why can't I find Saad?
So it should be hard to pick out a lineup.
Just pretend they're all going in for an airport scan. Which guy gets pulled aside?
All we're going to do is pick one at random.
You're looking at the senior list. That's why.
Is he a rookie? Oh, look at this,
look at
eh?
You're still looking at the senior list.
View rookie list. There we go.
Right down the bottom.
Isn't Took Miller a rookie? No.
Probably not.
There he is.
Adam Saad.
Adam Saad.
I knew
There you go.
Yeah, Adam Saad. Anyway, that was a long effort to get to that.
Yeah.
Edit.
while we're talking about awards, again, so that's Rookie of the Year or NAB Rising Star sorted. It is a shame, I reckon, that there isn't a real Backman's Award. Like,
Golden Fist.
Yeah, exactly. The Golden Fist is it. And that's Spud Frawley having a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
I reckon that there should be one for Best Defender of the Year.
Yeah.
And do it like the NAB Rising Star. Have a panel of experts give their 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and pick a winner.
I think people just, like, especially within the media and that, they don't give a fuck enough to quantify it because that's not what people really watch. But
I reckon it does make a good viewing when you have a good defender against a good forward. Who would you put on the panel? Say you got a 6-man panel.
Well, I mean, usually they pick like 3 journos and 3 ex-players.
Well, fuck, let's just go for the ex-players. Like, who do you... Like, Silvani obviously
Silvani.
recommends himself.
Look,
3 journos got to be us, doesn't it?
Yeah, us.
Yeah.
Look, don't discount Spud Frawley. I put him in there,
Yeah.
not just because he was a great fullback for his entire career, but because he's been driving this issue tongue-in-cheek.
True.
But he's done something for it.
Yeah, exactly. Just through trying to research all that stuff, you come across all the defensive plays. And so it's got to count for something, doesn't it?
I want Glenn Jakovich in there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you do these days?
No, I have no idea.
I think he works at Channel 7 over in Perth. And he probably does a shitload of other media over in Perth that we don't get to see.
Yeah. Who else could you think would make that panel?
Mick Martin. Just to hear him talk. There you go, there.
Well, Glenn Archer, if you can get him in town, I reckon.
Oh, yeah. He'd be involved as long as no one...
Then again, it'd probably be his way or the highway. He'd knock fuckers out.
Can you imagine Archer, Jakovich, Frawley all sitting around a table? I can't see that table without cards, probably a cigar and a drink.
About 12 empty pints on there.
Yeah, exactly. And then Silvani's like, oh, guys, we've got to write some down. Shut the fuck up!
Chris Langford.
Get us another beer, bitch.
He can get it.
Yeah, Chris Langford.
He's obviously a nice corporate fellow as well. And I think he's doing a little bit with the AFL. So he's obviously in amongst it.
Yep, yeah, true.
He'll be another one. Yeah.
I'm sort of struggling after that.
Oh, I'm sure there's hundreds of others out there. Just, Zach Dawson. You can put Zach Dawson in there. He's not still playing, so...
Is this true?
Is he? I just think there should be something there.
Yeah, definitely. We've got all off-season to debate it as well, so maybe by about round 1 next year, I reckon we can get something together, even if we have to cobble together a little trophy ourselves.
Well, I'll write another letter. That
This is
seems
true.
to work so well.
I think that's the way, but we've got to really... It's like the old-school DDoS attack, but just through the mail.
Yeah.
Just flood them.
Just flood them with mail. All right, well, I think that gets us through round 23 and into the first week of the finals.
Yeah.
The only other sad thing I can say is the grand finals in October, which means what's his name, Brady, can't get a gig.
Oh, doing the halftime up there, Kazali.
You can't do one day in September.
Oh yeah, that's true.
One day in October. No, go on.
True. Well, I mean, it's about time we wrote a new fucking song. So
Yeah. I mean, the other amazing thing is that Port, Melbourne, Brisbane, all can say now they've won in September.
yeah,
Been a very, very long time since Melbourne have done that.
This is true.
Anyway, they can take whatever comfort they want in that.
And they will.
You have any more issues you wanted to cover off?
No. That's enough for this shit-ass round.
Sorry, we talked at the top about Mad Monday. There was something else I want to bring up about that.
Yep.
Travis Boak out at Port Adelaide is pretty much, he's done a bit of a St Kilda and put the kibosh on it and said, we've got nothing to celebrate this year. I think he did the same thing last year after Port lost in the prelim. A few of the younger lads were talking about what costumes they're going to wear for Mad Monday.
Yep.
And he said, mate, wait till we win a flag and then we'll talk about it. A bit of a party pooper, isn't he?
Like, say, mate, suck my cock.
What, Trav, you going to be playing that year?
It's just you still got something to celebrate, haven't you? You've finished off a year.
Yeah, and
had a Christmas party.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's more and more a job being an AFL footballer. You know what I mean? You can get sacked at will and whatever.
The drop of a hat.
Yeah, your job's done. You can do what you want. You don't want to do Mad Monday, don't do it. But
Maybe
you can't say none of you fuckers are doing it.
Maybe he just gets pissed off and he never gets invited to Mad Tuesday.
Well, would you invite him? By the sounds of it.
I went to Mad Tuesday, no motherfucker was there. Again.
Do you reckon they just got a group chat without him. There's organised and shit.
Facebook group, Port Adelaide players who aren't Poke.
Well, they have got, I think, the Sample side are still running around.
Yeah.
So a few of them might just dress up as Sample players. Just go, mate, you Magpies, you guys having a Mad Monday? Because we'd fucking like one.
Yeah, I've rested myself this week.
That's what they call playing Freo round 23, resting for the Sample. Fuck you, I'm getting a medal. All right, that'll do us, I think. We're done. We're good?
Yep.
All right.
See you next Tuesday.
All right, back.